That makes sense. Okay. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Sunflower Hour. It is your girl Britt, and I have with me
Mia.
Yes, and in this episode today, me and Mia. Oh my God, your name was a tongue twister for a second. Me and Mia are gonna talk about navigating our authenticity as Black women. As both me and Mia attended art school, and we both are creative individuals. We wanted to have this episode to really talk about our experience, what we've been through, and really being a Black woman artist. So first I'm going to hand you the mic. So my first question, thank you. So my first question for you is, when did you call yourself an artist, and did you already know, or did you need the validation?
So I really didn't start calling myself an artist until I was almost done art school. Before that, I was just more of like, I was into fashion for a long time, so it was just a fashion designer. That's what I kind of went by. But then when I switched majors, I was like, it's kind of falling under fine art. So then I just switched, I guess, to artist. But as far as like validation, I feel like my parents kind of always gave me that. So I don't feel like I really had to search for it, or yeah.
That's really interesting. Here, I can take it. That's really interesting, because I feel like, because my parents aren't artists, it's not their career track. I feel like I needed validation from people outside of them. So like my peers or my mentors, because I felt like people who actively do art, I feel like I needed them to tell me that I was an artist, since I've always ever felt like, oh, all I do is write. It's just my hobby. That's all I do. So I felt like coming in, I needed that validation, but after a while, that can become critical. That can detriment your self-esteem if you're seeking validation from outside sources instead of within yourself. So when I started calling myself an artist, that's when it really like hit me, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm an artist. I don't need other people to tell me I am an artist. And also, other people use that against you.
Needing validation?
Yeah. I had a lot of teachers, mentors that use that kind of validation against me, like
seeking their approval.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I feel like it has like the opposite effect if you don't. It's like they either like you or they really don't like you. It's like
if you don't seek their approval.
Yeah, so either they really like you and they low-key may feel like you're a good student, or they really don't like you. Like, it's not that they really don't like you. I think they think you don't care.
That's what I think too.
And it's not that I don't care, but should I care?
It's the question. It's like, okay, you giving me this. It's like, is this my project? Is this what I want to do? Yeah. Then why do I?
I get you're trying to be helpful, but
yeah,
in the grand scheme of things,
you can't motivate me to do something that it's not in my heart to do, and you're just telling me to do it.
Yeah,
that's not how it works. But that's how they do it, and they use that. I know for me, they use that kind of the cherry of, oh, are you a writer? Are you an artist? Are you an artist, to kind of make me keep going and keep running, but really just made me go, I'm not.
I think we have like totally different attitudes towards school, and that sounds bad, but like before I got to like college, my parents were like, okay, you don't give them your best ideas, give them the bare minimum. So I went off that the entire time. I was like,
I didn't have that talk.
It wasn't purposeful. Like towards the end, I was still low key. I wasn't giving the bare minimum because it was still hard, but it wasn't like, in terms of ideas, you were getting my bare minimum. Because if I don't like own them at the end of all of this, then it's like, what's the point?
See, I had the opposite talk. All my life I was raised, give it your best. Give it your best.
There's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, I feel like I would probably be a better 9-to-5er if my parents told me, like, give it your best. They really told me that I wasn't, like, a 9-to-5er because I'm not giving everything my best. Like, more like you're probably going to work for yourself, huh? Because you don't like listening. You don't like being on time. It's not that I don't like those things. They're just things I struggled with. It wasn't like a purposeful, like...
No, I also struggle with, like, having a traditional 9-to-5. I just feel like as artists, as creatives, the way we operate, the way we think, we don't fit in that 9-to-5 box.
Yeah. I think you learn, like, as you get older, how to navigate the 9-to-5 to make it work for you, you know?
I don't know how we got to 9 to 5.
We know, but back to the topic.
Back to the topic.
I didn't feel like I needed the validation of other people. Like, I feel like my family was like enough in that sense. Like, I mean, neither one of my parents are like creatives in a sense of like they don't do like creative jobs, but like they have creative hobbies. Like my dad, he likes writing. So
I feel like now my family and my friends and my partner, though, that's where I get and myself, really, that's where I get my validation. That's where I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm an artist. And I see it within myself every day. I'm like, yeah, I'm an artist. This is where I live and breathe.
I think my dad really, really wanted me to stay on the track of fashion because he was like, I don't really know where you come up with these things like from your head, but it's like they're really good. So almost like, why would you want to like leave this major you've been in for so long? I'm like, you just don't understand. You just don't understand. It's not for me. Like, I'm not to say I'll never be cut out for it, but I don't think I like the way that it was, I don't want to say advertised to me, because it probably really is, the fashion world is really like that.
Yeah.
But it's certain aspects that I didn't like and I didn't want to put up with, and I kind of knew was like make or break aspects, so I was like, yeah, no.
No, I get you with that. So my next question is, were there times in the Art Institute environment you felt the need to conform, and how did you push back or stand up for your vision?
I think when I first got there, I felt somewhat of a need, like, you know, because you hear, like, even before you go to college, you see all, like, the Instagram is such a
that beautiful place. Instagram marketing.
It's not even just, like, the marketing of it all. It's, like, hearing other people's college experiences. Because I looked up, like, other people's experiences before I got there. But I couldn't really find that many bad ones. I was like, well, they must exist. Yeah. Like, you know, so you kind of go in and it's like, okay. It's like when you go to college, you do, like, a revamp almost of yourself from, like, high school to college. And I wouldn't say that everybody kind of changes their personality, but there are aspects about yourself that you try to change to, like... Fit in is not the word for it, because it wasn't necessarily me caring about fitting in. It was, I guess you were just becoming like a new version of yourself. I don't know how to explain it. But that was the only time I felt like I had to conform in terms of like, especially being like the minority within the majority. You kind of feel like, walking on eggshells. And not because I necessarily care, just because it's going to be detrimental in the long run, probably if I don't. So it's like, yeah.
You felt not the need to conform, but you like, I get what you mean. Like, you want to reinvent yourself, you want to start something new, but you're also like, you don't see yourself. You're not like, oh, hey, girl, your hair look cute. Like, oh, hey, girl. Like, we don't get that community. Like, oh, girl, you look.
Oh, yeah. Like when you're on the street, someone say, oh, I like your hair.
Yeah, like, oh, girl, come back to my dorm. I'll do your hair for a discount.
I gotta go search for that.
Yeah. Oh, you want a hot plate? I made a hot plate. Like, no. Yeah. You ain't getting none of that. And so you really had to, like, search for yourself in that type of environment. And I know for me especially, I definitely felt the need to conform. I'm sorry, I was around a whole bunch of other people. There we go, that's how I'm going to say it. I was around a whole bunch of other people, and I felt like I had to conform in, like, an art way, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, you were on the clock.
Yeah.
You were on the clock.
Yeah.
It felt like I was on the clock, low key.
Yeah, it felt like I had to conform in, like, not in, like, a 9 to 5, like, certain way, but in, like, this is what it means. Curriculum. Yeah, this is what it means. But, like, curriculum and then socially. It was, like, curriculum.
Because they align.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's, like, the curriculum and the social align.
It's because they encouraged you to network and work on your projects. Well, you had to work on them outside of class, so it crossed over. Social life and like school life, it always crosses, so it's like inevitable. Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's exactly how I felt, because sorry girl, you giving me flashbacks. I'm trying to talk about this school life. Ooh, y'all, it was hard. It was hard being a black woman going to a art school.
I call it a PWI. Hey girl.
A PWI.
Have it your way.
A PWI.
It's both. It's
that's why I call it a PWI art school.
Well, to me, because it is primarily white.
So I feel like it was.
Okay. Let me tell you why I say that. Okay. Let me just hear me out. Before y'all go in, hear me out. So you know, like when you take a census and you're allowed to check off what race you are.
I know where you going with this.
Almost all the groups there can check off white.
That's
for some You know? And so it's like, it's primarily white. Even if it's not, like, culturally, in a sense, like, in terms of nationality, not in that sense. But in terms of how they let you check off the boxes around here, girl. Okay.
I wish I could have got. I'm a screen grab your face there because you said.
If you know, you know, and if you don't know, I mean, well, learn, go read. I don't know what to tell you.
Go read. There's some great books out there. The New Jim Crow. But anyway, after I got over myself and over that, because I also felt like I came out of coming out of high school, that I feel like I had that need to conform. It was still very much a naive high school mindset that, oh, I have to fit in. I need to make friends. I need to do this.
The need to make friends.
Yeah, the need to make friends will make you do a lot of things, and especially come outside of yourself. But I will say the minute that...
I didn't feel like I was outside of myself.
I know for me, I felt like I was outside of myself.
I just felt like I was definitely nice. Even kind, but it's like, those weren't necessarily traits outside of myself. Like, that was who I was at that time. I just learned how to minimalize that version of myself so that I don't fall for the same things. Like, you know, fall into the same patterns.
Yeah.
So,
I was just very open. I was still me. How do I say it? It's not that I was outside of myself. It was that...
reaching.
Yeah, I was reaching. And the person I was before I got there wouldn't have reached that much. I had more boundaries in high school than I had in college.
It would have been a sense of what friends? Not in a sense, but like in high school, my friend circle was smaller. It was like I had friends that were like my friends individually, one-on-one. It wasn't friend groups. I didn't do friend groups. What's that, girl, huh? Friend groups was done in middle school. We didn't want to continue that in high school. And then you just naturally grow apart. So it's like, that was the interesting part, I think, about college. Friend groups, like seeing how cliquey it was.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
That was really interesting. It was like, dang. I was excited.
But I think that like contributes to like the need to conform.
Because
you don't want to necessarily be kicked out the friend group, but then you don't. Because you got people in there you like, you know?
Yeah.
But you may not like all of them, to be honest.
That's true. On to the next question, because I feel like I summarized what I was saying. Yeah, summarized. How do you remain authentically... How the fuck you say this word? Authentically...
I struggle with that one. Authentically yourself.
Thank you.
I was reading that out earlier. I was like, I cannot get this word.
Girl, I was practicing it in my head. I was like, authentically. Okay, anyway. I can't say it still. How do you stay yourself?
You know, when I was growing up, I feel like my mom told me this a lot. She was like, you know, Mia, like when I used to get like, I guess I didn't get why people didn't get me. And it was like, it was really confusing for a long time. I was like, okay. Because you think about how you think of it in your mind, and then you don't really think of it how they perceive it. So she used to tell me that like getting to know me is like a kick in the face. And so I was like, that doesn't sound good. Like, but I mean, I understood what she was saying because I'm not the best at adapting and like changing. Mm-hmm. So I feel like in terms of authenticity, it was like it's easy for me because I don't feel that need to perform. Like usually if I'm trying to fit in, it's because I'm trying to be like nice. And there's a difference between being nice and kind. Like nice is like, okay, you know, you're on the playground, be nice. Like, you know, play together, be nice. It's not like kindness it's more genuine. Yeah.
No, I understand. I know for me, my parents always told me that, like, I was always myself. I was always this radiant, nice person. But, I don't know. I feel like as I got older, it's kind of hard to remain authentically yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when certain things like nice and kind.
You're categorized.
It's already put on you.
I didn't get that.
Yeah.
I feel like I've probably been considered a little bit rude. Yeah. But it's because, like, I feel like people really can't take it when you speak your mind. So I've
can't.
I've learned to really filter it. Like, people are getting, like, 15% to my actual, like, thoughts. Unless we're friends, you're getting, like, 15%.
People really can't, especially as a black woman. People do not like you to speak your mind or to say what you think or to even be blunt.
Yeah, but you told me I'm kind of like that, so I don't know. You did tell me that.
I
You were
like that you like that.
yeah, I didn't say anything was wrong with what you said. I just said you told me that I was like that. So
That's why I like it. I love speaking my mind. I love being blunt.
yeah,
I love saying,
I
forget
think,
you.
like authenticity is like I don't know. And then being raised around black people, you better learn to really be yourself. It's like they can smell it on you. Like when you're not,
Black people can't smell fake.
it's like they can smell it on
They
you.
can smell a good fake. They be like, yeah, nah.
yeah. No.
So it's kind of hard to not have your.
Yeah, your family members. Yeah.
Yeah, especially you grow up around the older ones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we gonna move on to Mia's questions because Mia made questions. Oh yeah, you can't see. I'll read them.
Yeah. Save me from putting on my glasses.
My bad, girl.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, how does your upbringing impact how your art shows up and how you express yourself as a black woman?
Oh, let me answer the question first.
First,
Okay.
did you want me to?
You do it first. Lead the way.
I'll lead the way. Hold up. So I feel like, damn, you wrote some deep ass questions. I feel like my upbringing, I kind of grew up, I wasn't popular. So I was kind of like, I was a girl who read in the library. That's the perfect way to describe who I was.
The library.
Girl, the girl who read in the library did not have friends. The books were her friends.
Okay.
And that was me.
I probably would have been your friend, but
Oh, thank you. The books were my friend, okay? The playground was my enemy. But anyway, so I spent a lot of my time channeling that isolation through my writing. You know, I imagined the world I wanted to see. I imagined the characters, the people I wanted to meet. How did I want to express myself? Who did I want to be? I kind of used writing in my art as like a manifestation of what I wanted to be in this world and what I wanted to see, and also a way for me to get the representation that I wanted. Because when I was like in the library reading a book, I didn't see us. And when I did see us, we were in the urban sections having multiple kids by gang members. So I was just like, dang, why can't we be fairy princesses and warlocks and why are we dang? Like, and that's what kind of fueled me to keep writing and to keep expressing myself, because I wanted more representation for me to read, but for people to see as like black people, for them to see us as humans, for us to see our humanity, our stories, our hardships, like our joy. And that's what really kind of motivated me to keep going. It was the mixture of going to a lot of PWIs and being isolated from my community that drove me to create my community through storytelling.
That's nice.
Thank you.
Okay. Impact. I'm gonna break it down. Okay.
That's what I did.
Yeah. So my upbringing, I grew up around a lot of older people. I had like friends. That was like before I moved to North Carolina though. All my friends lived in like other areas, other neighborhoods, so it was like they weren't like easily accessible. It's not like let's go next door and play. So I'm an ear hustler, low key. I don't know how to explain it to you, but I used to eavesdrop a lot on old people's conversations. that's really what like ear hustling is. So I feel like I gained like a lot of gems from them, just in general, like being in my grandma's hair salon or whatever the case. So I feel like that really impacted me, especially growing up down south. It's like church Sundays and the hair salon and the barber shop and those places. Yeah, those were the things that like impacted even like my personal style, like those key moments. But how do I express myself? How does it impact the way I express myself? I'm gonna be honest, most of my family is really blunt. If you could, if you couldn't tell, they're really blunt. So it's like, they don't really like, they will hold their tongue, but only in a corporate sense. So at work. But when I'm off the clock and you're just talking to me, it depends on how much I like you, honestly, and trust you. But I feel like they definitely impacted my habits. So, because even when I come with stuff like this, it's kind of like, I think about like censoring it to a certain degree, but then I'm like, girl, censor it for what? Like, you know? So, as far as my art, I feel like I just didn't feel like there was a lot of representation of black people, like, and I mean like black in a sense of like African Americans. I mean, yeah, in the more recent years, you see like people from other diasporas all around the world, right? But growing up in like the early 2000s, girl, it was Britney Skinny, and that was all we were getting. And like I feel like my first like reputation, like representation of seeing like black girls was honestly cartoons. So like Rugrats, or like what's another one? Bratz. I was like a huge Bratz fan. So like the Sashas and that was my first time. So my art mainly was made to represent black girls, black culture. I mean, yeah, I'd like to create pieces on like other parts of like the black community, like black men and things like that. But I feel like those for me, like they have to be like collaborations, like because I'm not a black man, so it's like from another perspective, and it's like so yeah.
I love that. That was so nice. And why? I want to ask you, like, why do you want to create for the black people, like for black community?
It really does just boil down to like representation for me. For a long time, that's what it boiled down to. And then like, I don't know, my grandma was very like pro-black, like. So it's like, I guess that really impacted me growing up. Like, like I don't want to be rude, but I feel like I never seen her have a white friend, like ever. I don't know if she ever had any. Like, I'm being serious.
I'm gonna be honest.
So I was like,
I was always scared.
And then for a long time, I never understood like the things she didn't like. And then I got older, and I was like, okay, the math is mathing, and the facts are facting. So it's just like I that set in motion. Like it when even like my last year at SCAD, I was like, okay, I'm just creating stuff I really don't like that. Like it's cute, the fruit and the flowers and the cute little patterns and all. It's cute, but it's like meaningless, low key. Yeah. So it's like I don't know.
Girl, that's how I felt writing the princesses and the all that stuff, fairy tales and Jumbo Memo.
But it's like, what does it mean? And like like when you think of it in a sense of like, there's always like another you out there, in a sense of like a girl who wants to pursue art, or a girl who wants to do X, Y, and Z. And not necessarily girl, it can just be like a black child in general. And maybe they don't have my parents, maybe they don't have your parents. Maybe it's just like my boyfriend's like this. Maybe it's just them like believing in themselves. And so what's to keep them going if they only ever see like the representation of other people?
Yes, no, that's beautiful. That's exactly, ooh, girl, that touched my heart. I need a second. Whew, I'm feeling emotions, y'all. Whew, y'all know Brit's emotional. Okay, I'm good. Whew. Shut up. Okay. How do you find yourself navigating creative spaces where you are the minority now versus when you were younger? So I find myself now, especially now that I'm older, navigating minority spaces, I be putting my head up. I be back straight, like we going to battle. I gotta back straight, don't slouch. I'm looking at you. I got my shit together. I know my stuff, but that's also because when I first stepped into a creative environment, I came in very naive, and I came in very much like, oh my God, we're all creatives and we're all artists and like kumbaya. Networking. Let's all be friends. Let's all collaborate. Yeah. Now I'm very much like, okay, how are we gonna do this? What's the work? You gotta know your worth. And I feel like now I know my worth. I didn't really know my worth when I was starting off, when I was younger. That was even just like a couple years ago. I didn't even know my worth. So when you do realize it, you carry yourself a little different. You're looking at yourself a little different. You're like, okay. You stop settling. You walk into the room a little bit different because you know what you want. And when I was younger,
what type of when you say walk into the room, were you like I'm walking and I'm gonna sit? Are you that person who sits and watches everybody? Or are you like
I do like to sit
production type of person?
It depends on my mood and what the room looks like. Cause if the room don't look like me, I'ma sit and watch. I'ma sit and watch. But if the room look like me, I'm gonna make an entrance.
Okay.
I'm gonna be like, hey y'all.
Okay.
See,
comfortable.
I got to suss out the vibes. And I feel like when I was younger, I was just a very kumbaya little person.
Let's all get along, guys.
Yeah, let's all just get along. Let's all just be artists, and let's all just communicate and talk. And that's how I navigated spaces, in a very like friendly, kind of naive way. And it caused me to get hurt. It caused my art to get disrespected, to get diminished, to get pushed back. And that is because I was so busy trying to uplift everyone else around me and uplift their work. And I was too busy trying to make another woman feel better about her art, trying to pick her up. I couldn't even pick myself up. So
I mean, we've all been. I can't cuss on here, can I?
you can.
Well, my dad. Okay, we've all been Captain Save-A-Ho at some point. That's all I'm gonna say. But I don't have the time for it anymore.
Yeah, that's the other segment.
I really want to. Otherwise than that, girl, if you ain't got it, I can drop you a couple gems, but you're gonna have to pick them up yourself now. Like, there's only so much you can do. So it's like, if you don't, I mean, yes, there's those impactful experiences where people are younger than you maybe, and you give them those gems and they start, walking a little straighter, back a little straighter. But people your same age, you can give people advice, but they don't gotta take it, that's all.
That's true. Directing the question to you.
Okay. Okay. So when I was younger, navigating spaces where I was the minority? Yeah. Okay. Minority. I was, I've always been kind of quiet until I get to know you. Like, I'm the person who walks in the room and sits and watches everybody. Unless you say hi to me, I'm not gonna say hi to you unless I know you. Like even, I don't know, it really doesn't matter the environment. I'm gonna look like I'm gonna people watch before I even speak to you. So, or I'm gonna pick the quietest person in the room, and I know that's weird. That's why I said we probably would have been friends. It's like, yeah, I probably would have picked you, but So, I feel like back then I was more timid, and more timid in a sense of trying not to ruffle feathers. Not timid in the sense of fear, because there was no fear behind it. It was just trying to get along. Yeah, trying to get along. Now, I don't really waste my time with that as much. Maybe if it's we're working on a project together, get along in the sake of getting it done. But I really don't have to like you, and you really don't have to like me, and I really don't care if you do. So it's But now, I really didn't grow up with maybe elementary. I wasn't even really a minority there, I guess. So I really didn't hit the experience of being a minority in a majority white space until I got to college. Before that, I was okay, it's black people and people of color. You know what I mean? It's it's vibes, So I really didn't have that experience until then. So it was a little shell shocking. I'm not gonna lie, because you hear so many things and you be like, dang, some of these are true. Yeah. Some of them are, look, I was trying to be nice. Some of them are true. So with that being said, yeah, I guess I learned how to navigate it. You know what I got really good at? Passive aggressiveness. Before that, I was never good at being passive aggressive. It was something I felt that it was so hard. But they helped me master it. They really did. And I'm like, yeah, thanks for that.
That was a degree of passive aggressiveness.
Thank you for that. You really made me learn how to be corporate Karen before I got to corporate. And I appreciate that. But, because before that, I really was bulldozing you. It was no fine line between me being off your back or me being on your back. I was either on you or I was off you. We were cool? Okay. We're not cool? Girl, don't even breathe wrong. Now, you breathe wrong, I'm just okay, it's a little hot in here, So I navigate it differently because I understand. I guess I understand better how the world navigates too. So it's a little easier. I still prefer not to be the minority and the majority, but can we at least break even?
I need a good split.
Yeah, break even.
I don't want to be fighting by myself.
But even when I find like you're the minority and the majority, it can be a couple of you in there, girl. You still the minority. You're still the minority. They may be there, girl, but nobody is home.
All skin folk ain't kin folk.
Nobody is home. I won't even just say that. It's just like your experiences are different. People navigate things differently, so it's just like I don't have any expectations.
I wish I was you.
Let me see that.
Wait, what?
I said I wish I was you. I had expectations for like if I saw other black people in my class, I'd be like, oh my god, we friends.
Well, I
no.
think actually going to a majority like minority school teaches you not to have that.
See, I didn't.
Because you see the ops look the same. They look the same, but they're beefing with each other.
I forgot.
And the issue is not usually that big. Even though they're kids, like they're still children. It still really reflects like the real world in a sense. So it's like, my boyfriend always says people are people and people gon' people. I don't know what to say. It's
People
like,
gon' people.
It's not, it's race based, and like there are, some things are true about different groups of people. They've perpetuated it, right? So it's historic, but there's also a sense of they're their own person to a certain extent too.
Yeah.
So next question, what part of your identity in your work feels most vulnerable and which feels most safest? I feel like with my work right now, especially with my my writing, the one that feels most vulnerable is anything to do with my mental health, anything to do with my mood disorder, anything to do with just what I'm going through in life, like just all of that stuff. That could be my most vulnerable stuff. But it's always the most high-hitting one of my blogs. I hate it. People love to hear about my shit.
It makes it relatable.
That's true.
What's the relatability of it all?
That's true.
And people really do. They really are scared to talk about it. Like,
They really are. That's why I'm like, okay, it helps me to open up. It also helps me to close chapters of my life by writing about it and just letting it go. But those are always the hardest to write or the hardest to admit, like, oh, I was wrong, or I messed up, or I did something not the right way. Those are always the hardest to write, but they always, I feel like, are the most beautiful ones. And I feel like my safest ones, like my safest ones that I create for my identity is my sexuality. I'm a very much a sexual person, and I write about sexuality. I write about sex. I love it. I find it interesting. I talk about it. And I feel like it's also my safest work because it gets me, the standard numbers. It gets the standard comments, and it keeps my page going. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
okay, that makes sense. What else is it? What else was I supposed to say? It makes sense. It does. My most vulnerable work, believe it or not, like fine art really isn't like any of my vulnerable work. Most of the time, I don't even make fine art in the realm of like particularly mental health. I thought about it recently, but I was like,
Interesting.
yeah, well, people keep asking me to do more of those heads, and I'm like, girl, I've got nothing. It's just empty up here when it comes to ideas, unless I do the same thing over and over again, like braided heads, which are easy to make, easy to sell. Granted, if you commission me for that, I'm not gonna say no, but they aren't cheap either. That's not the point though. Those are like they're vulnerable in a sense of like they tie back somewhat to a degree to like my grandma, my family, but it's not vulnerable in a sense of like it's. Personal. It's personal, but it's not that personal because so many people can relate to it. It's black hair, right? So my writing is usually more like personal, how I actually feel, like anything that I probably like. Well, I really didn't start writing till COVID when I was shut in. I was like, this is gonna drive me insane. I literally is going from school, the homework, to the day, to let's replay the day the next day, and then whatever is going on in the outside world and whatever is going on in this house, and I just can't take it. I'm on my literal last leg mentally. So that's when I started writing, and then I was just going through like things from like college before it all ended and went to so it all showed up in that writing. But like, I mean, when I release those soon, I'm working on a project for that, but I mean, there are some stuff that I just don't write about, like, but more like the things that are like recurring thoughts. Those are the things to get like written about. And sometimes it's like intentional if I want to write about like a person or like an experience, but those are the more vulnerable pieces.
And where can we find your writing?
Girl, it's not even on the internet yet. See what I mean? Well, because when you see stuff and people make things and it gets stolen, and I'm just like, so, and this is gonna sound bad, and this is gonna sound a little arrogant. At least some people are gonna see it that way. But what? You're looking at me like that, but it's true because it always happens to Black artists. They go and they do steal your work, and it's not just like it can even be other people, but like. It's just like, and I'm not really going for it. And I feel that way, and because I feel like the stuff I make, I put my time into, and the majority of it is good. So it's like, I don't know. That's the kind of the debate of like releasing that stuff. And then, or should I like release it as something that's sold all together? And then that way it's like already,
Yeah.
you can't copy it and just be like, well.
I get you.
So, I mean, there is like a stand-up poetry video on my page, but that wasn't really a poem that wasn't really a poem anymore. That was like super, super close to my heart. It was close to my heart since like the time that I wrote it and the person that I wrote it for, but it wasn't like it's not like here now anymore, like close tight to my chest, can't share, like, which is why I got shared, but like
Period. So how do you navigate feedback received that you felt was rooted in bias? Now, I love this question because I feel like I got a lot of feedback that was rooted in bias. And that...
I just be like, roll the clip. It's like in the back of my mind.
Yes!
But it's not like, it's like the deleted scenes. Because I don't retain any of it most of the time.
I literally would just delete. Because I'd just literally be like, y'all don't understand. Y'all don't get it. Y'all don't see the symbolism. Y'all don't see how it
I don't
connects.
feel like that. I'm just like, girl. Anybody else? Does anybody else have anything to say?
Does anybody actually want to add some good constructive criticism?
That's really
Thank you.
Most of the time. It's not even that it's bad constructive criticism. It's just like, it's not useful to me particularly. Like, maybe you gave it to a different person, but like, it doesn't pertain in the situation, so I don't know what the point was,
It's because it's rooted in their own, like, what they like, bias, what they want.
Everybody's living in their own world, and you just living in it.
And you just living in it. You just living in someone's world.
Yeah, it's just your world, and I'm just living in it. I guess you are.
I guess you are. If you ain't taking over your life, I guess you are. I guess that's how you feel.
I mean, I've had more than one person tell me that. I thought it was so strange. I was like, what do you mean it's my world and you're just living in it? Like, as in, like, I don't generally consider other people, but it's not that. It's just, like, I feel like they take it as I do what I want. And
Yeah.
it kind of, you're just here. It's not personal, though. I just feel like life is so short. It's like,
Why not live it?
it's like, but you can't, I know you can't do everything you want, but girl, the little things you can do, like, why not do them?
Yeah. And I know for me, how I navigated the feedback that I received, I just kept it pushing. Whatever they said, I was like, you don't understand it, you don't get it, or maybe I would question them. Sometimes I would question them. I'd be like, what do you mean? Explain more.
They would be sitting there, and they probably thought I was sitting there looking dumbfounded, low key. But it was just like, when they would ask me, like, so do you understand? No, I don't. They had nothing else to add after that. It's just, no, I don't.
I wish I was in the same class as you.
It's like, well, that's what happened senior year. I just said, no, I don't. Because I don't understand. Because we're not going to see eye to eye on it. So it's like, no. You don't understand. I don't understand. We're just not going to understand. So, like.
Wait, so how did everyone react?
When I said no,
Oh.
how did I navigate it?
How did you navigate feedback received that you feel was rooted in bias?
You know how willful ignorance works? Like, when you play willfully dumb?
Yeah.
That's like the cop-out right there. It's just, I'm going to pretend I'm going to be willfully dumb, because no, I don't understand what you're talking about. No. So, there was a situation where a professor this professor was cool. I liked her, granted, she was, not all the professors, she was like one of my favorite professors, but she said a comment, and it was like a critique, and she was like, so, do you understand what I mean, Mia? And I just said, no. You know what they gotta do after that? Call up the next person for critique. That's it. Let's wrap it up. So it's just plain willfully dumb. Like, yeah, I understand what you're talking about, but am I gonna apply it? No. So
Keep pushing. Keep it going.
well, I didn't even really take it personal because it was like, there was a girl I was friends with at that time, like we were cool or whatever, and she was like, I can't believe she said that. You know, they give you the, I can't believe she said that, and da, da, da. And did she not realize? And I was like, no, she didn't realize, and I don't expect her to. Like, the bar is right here, people. The bar is right here, in terms of for you to understand. So if you don't understand, it's not like I'm not losing my mind. Like, at that point, we were in year 4, girl. What can make me lose my mind at this point?
It's already gone. That's how I felt senior year. I was like, it's gone. It's not there no more. I was barely holding on.
That's crazy.
But I wish I was in that class because I'd be like, yeah.
I feel like it was overall it was like a fun class. So the people were cool, but I mean, if you're not like really in a culture, you don't really understand it to that degree. So it's like your feedback may be useless, just to be honest.
That's true. If you don't understand the cultural understanding behind the reasoning, then you can't make any feedback.
And I do kind of talk kind of fast, so it's like it doesn't make it better when I'm explaining to you. So.
Oh my gosh. But anyways, so our last question is, for Black women wanting to pursue creating in this day and age, what would be some advice you would give to them and why? I feel like my advice would be to create what you want to see in this world. Like Angela Bassett said, be the change that you want to see. Not Angela Bassett. I always call her Angela Bassett. Angela Davis. Angela Davis said, the Angelas be giving my head.
Black History Month L right there.
That is not an L. I get the Angelas mixed up.
There are a lot of Angelas, though.
See? Angela Davis said, be the change you want to see. So I feel like if there's a story you want to be told, or if there's a sculpture you want to be made, or if there's a fashion you want to be made, you have to make it, because who else is going to make it? And that's what I had to understand, because at first I was about to give up on this whole being an artist thing. I was about to be like, nah, I'm about to be a STEM person or something else.
You're out, boy. It gets tough.
Girl, I was like, I give up. I'm tired of this. But then I realized it's a calling. It's something that you like. I don't even say I want to. I need to create. Creating is how I process and I humanize myself through this world. So I feel like as a Black woman, we always have to remember we have the ability to create, and we create so much, and they need our art in this world. They need, especially now, and that should be our motivation. Just keep going, keep pushing, and not to be scared to show your work, because that's really one thing. They want us to be scared to show our work, and we never should be.
You good? My advice. Sorry. My advice. I think I would say, like, okay, so my brand slogan right now, and I don't know, it may change, it may not, girl, who knows? Stay tuned. It's literally create what inspires you. So it's like, I mean, you can create what other people want you to make, but it's not gonna give. Like, I remember before I made that collection, like I said, I was over it. I was over making things just to make them, just for the grade or whatever the case is. So when I made that collection, it actually ended up in like a museum like a year later. I was like, girl, this kind of working out for me. Like, making that stuff before was not doing nothing for you, girl. Nothing. So I would say create what inspires you. Also, collaboration isn't bad. Hear me out. Hear where I'm going with it. But make sure you're collaborating with like people who kind of like align with you, not people who you think because you do the same thing or you both look the same or no, ma'am. Okay, so yeah, collaboration is always good, but it just has to be with the right intention, with the right people. So, other than that, I think they told me this before in school, but art is not an easy career field, and you will feel like giving up, especially if you're like, what I really did learn one summer when I was doing an internship, there really is a big difference between going to school for art, getting out, kind of starting from scratch, and people who just choose not to go to school for it, and they just do it. And I almost feel like it turns out better when you just do it.
When you just, I was thinking the same thing.
When you just do it, and it's just because there's no like
Hesitation.
there's no hesitation, there's no like you haven't even had the opportunity to really be put in a box yet. So it's like you're not limiting yourself, and your mind is limitless. Like the stuff I was drawing back then, girl, I knew one day I was gonna make that dress. And literally. And so, but then you go to art school and it's like, halt, that may be a little bit too complicated, or you should think about doing this, and then you start seeing all the limitations that you didn't see before. So I'm not saying don't go to art school. I mean, girl, it's good for the corporate side. Yeah, I get that. The corporate side, or like just the technical skills. But if you feel like you can teach yourself, girl, just teach it to yourself. Me personally, I don't think I ever would have had the commitment until I got to like doing 9 to 5s, and I'm like, girl, I gotta get up out of here. And then I would have had but it still would have sent me kind of further back on like the technical skills. Not to say that you really have to have all those to be successful, because you really don't. Especially in this day and age, girl. TikTok assist. You could just do whatever, and it may blow up. So that would be my advice. Oh, I would also say that, so even when you're like in museums or shows or just showing off your artwork, and you see other people's artwork, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, yeah, you see the flaws in your artwork, but girl, they don't. They really don't. They may not even know what the topic's about for real, because they're unfamiliar with the word or the culture. So it's like, you don't gotta tell them, they ain't gotta know. So yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect, because I'm like a real perfectionist, so that's something I struggle with when it comes to putting things out, as you can see from my art page. So,
Well, thank you, Mia, so much for joining me today for the podcast. Did you have fun?
I did.
Thank you for coming, and I hope you guys got something, felt inspired, maybe want to start some art, maybe thought about going to art school. If you did, that would be really interesting. Research it.
Money.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Let me stop this video.
Money.
But anyways,
Overall, I feel like, you have like those times where I feel like people feel like they may want to be like another race or another ethnicity. I never felt like that, because girl,
always black.
do you see it? Okay. All right. Always. I don't think I'll ever choose anything else. I feel like that's another thing that people may grapple with when they're making their art, like trying to make it like everybody else, or make it palatable. You don't have to do that.
I had to learn that lesson.
Yeah, if it's just your culture, it's your culture. They can either, girl, read about it, because I'm not finna teach you. Read about it, or if they don't take interest in it, it is what it is. I mean,
I wish I had that lesson, because I tried to make it palatable a
my
lot.
look at this girl is get with the plan, get on board, or get out my way. And that's really it. And so if you do like the art, great.
If you don't,
Hey, girl.
walk away.
Like I said, you want a commission? I'm always here.
You and these damn commissions.
No, but hear me out. It is like that, though, because that's how a lot of artists do make their money. Or if you just want to admire that, cool, ask me about it, that's great. But if you don't like it, girl, shut up. Just shh. Critiques are reasonable. Reasonable. But if you just kill it, you just have to learn, I guess, taking the good with the bad. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what art is, literally.
That's actually
For
a good
every,
way to
like,
wrap up.
inspiration, there's, like, probably an L you took before it, baby. And it's just, it is what it is.
Well, like I end every episode, I see you. I appreciate you so, so much. And you are loved. Bye, guys. Say bye.
Bye.